He didn't believe in signs, not the kind people talked about at least. He believed in work, in routine, in effort, in showing up even when you didn't feel like it. That was why the gym became his second home, not because he loved lifting weights, but because it was the only place where his mind finally went quiet. Every evening after work, he went there. Same time, same locker, same corner of the room. And every evening, without planning to, he saw her. She was never trying to be noticed. No loud movements, no attention-seeking, just focus. Headphones in, hair tied back, eyes locked on her reflection as if she was competing with the person she used to be. And somehow, that made her impossible to ignore. At first, she was just another face in the crowd. Then one day she smiled at someone. Not at him, just a simple, genuine smile. And something about it stayed in his mind longer than it should have. From that day on, he started noticing the small things. The way she warmed up carefully, like she respected her body. The way she paused between sets, breathing deeply, as if she was reminding herself that she was still standing, still trying, still moving forward. The way she packed her bags slowly, never rushing, never wasting the moment. And every day he told himself, tomorrow I'll talk to her. But tomorrow became next week, and next week became another month. Not because he didn't want to, but because fear has a quiet way of convincing you that silence is safer than rejection. He imagined all the ways it could go wrong. What if she had someone already? What if she thought he was just another guy with the same empty lines? What if he embarrassed himself in front of everyone? What if he ruined the one place that felt peaceful? So he stayed quiet. He stayed in his lane. He lifted his weights. He pretended not to look. He pretended not to care. But every time she walked past, his heart reminded him that pretending only works for the mind, not for the soul. One evening, the gym was quieter than usual. The rush had passed. The music was low. The air felt heavy in that calm way it does when people are tired, but proud of themselves for showing up. He was on the treadmill, walking, not running, lost in thought. She was finishing her workout, wiping down a bench, gathering her things. For a moment, she stood in front of the mirror, looking at herself the same way he often did. Not checking her appearance, but checking her progress, her strength, her resilience. And suddenly the thought hit him differently. What if this is the last time you ever get this moment? Not the last time he'd ever see her, but the last time this version of him would exist. The version that was still afraid, still waiting, still hoping courage would come on its own. He remembered all the times in life he had stayed silent, all the opportunities he had let pass because he was waiting to feel ready, and how ready never really came. She walked toward the exit, hand on the door, one step away from being just another missed chance. And something inside him shifted. Not confidence, not sudden bravery, just a quiet decision. The understanding that regret weighs more than rejection. He stepped off the treadmill. His legs felt heavier than any set he had ever done. His mouth was dry. His heart was loud. But his feet kept moving. One step, then another. He didn't have a perfect line, no smooth introduction, no plan, just honesty. She turned as she heard him behind her. Their eyes met, and in that moment he realized she wasn't a fear, she was a person, with her own doubts, her own struggles, her own reasons for being there every day. He took a breath. "Hey, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say, I see you here a lot, and I admire how focused you are." His voice was calm, but his hands were shaking. She smiled, not the polite kind, the real kind, the kind that made the world feel quieter. "Thank you," she said. "That actually means a lot." They introduced themselves, simple names, soft voices, Two people who had been sharing the same space for months without truly meeting. They talked about training, about work, about how the gym was more than a place to exercise. It was a place to rebuild, to escape, to prove something to yourself. Minutes passed, then more. The fear he had built in his head slowly dissolved, not because he was suddenly confident, but because the moment was kinder than he had imagined. And then he asked, not dramatically, not perfectly, just honestly, "Would you like to get a coffee sometime?" She paused, just long enough to let his heart beat too fast. Then she nodded. "I'd like that." They walked out together that night, not as a couple, not as strangers anymore, just two people who had chosen courage over comfort. And as the cool air hit his face, he understood something he would carry for the rest of his life. Most of the moments that change us don't come with noise or warning. They come quietly. They wait. They ask one simple question. Will you speak, or will you stay silent? That night, he spoke, and that was enough to change everything.